Pussycat? I'm new in town. I was born in Chicago, but New York is great because this is where they make Law and Order, which is my favorite show, you know? And I realized it was my favorite show when I was in my third consecutive hour of Law and Order. Figured this better be my favorite, otherwise I have a problem. But it's crazy, if you watch enough episodes of Law and Order, you see these patterns in every episode. You know, like in the beginning, when they're interviewing witnesses about the crime, the people they talk to are always so casual about being questioned by homicide detectives. There's been like a double rape and murder, and they're questioning some guy, and he's just like, Tony Ramirez? Yeah, I remember him. Used to work here on Tuesdays. It's like people have died. You can't stop unloading crates for a second? How often do you talk to homicide detectives? I gotta get back to work. No, you don't. The police are here. All bets are off. And they always let some detail about the case go that they don't even realize is important. They'll be like, well, did he say where he was going? Said something about the knife store. Like, yeah, knife store. Knife store pertains to the stabbing investigation. My favorite on that show, though, was Jerry Orbach. I loved him because, yeah, he was the best. Because he always had like a funny little one-liner when they found the dead body. They'd find a teacher lying dead in an alley, and Orbach would be like, huh, looks like school's out. I always wanted to see an episode where he couldn't think of a clever one, where they find a guy dead with a Mars bar in his hand, and Orbach's like, huh, looks like he won't be going to Mars anytime soon. Get it? Mars bar? Screw you guys. 9 times out of 10, they're funny. I wanted to tell you one story. This is the story of the best meal I've ever had in my life, okay? Happened when I was 11 years old in Chicago, Illinois, where I grew up. I went to a place called the Salt and Pepper Diner with my best friend, John. We walk in to the diner one day, and they had a jukebox there, okay? And the jukebox was 3 plays for $1. So we put in $7 and selected 21 plays of Tom Jones's What's New Pussycat. And then we ordered and waited. Here's the thing about when What's New Pussycat plays over and over and over and over and over again. The second time it plays, your immediate thought is not, hey, someone's playing What's New Pussycat again. It's, hey, What's New Pussycat is a lot longer than I first thought. The third time it plays, you're thinking, maybe someone's playing What's New Pussycat again. The fourth time it plays, you're either thinking, whoa, someone just played What's New Pussycat 4 times, or at least someone played it twice, and it's a really long song. So the 5th time is the kicker, all right? Now, John and I, we're watching the entire diner at this point, all right? Most people have gotten wind as to what's going on. And we're staring at this one guy, and he's sitting in like a booth with his stupid kids jumping around, and he's like staring at his coffee cup like this, and he's been onto us since the beginning. And he's sitting there, and his hand is shaking. He had this look on his face like, oh, like he had just gotten his 30-day chip from anger management. And he's staring like this, and the 4th song fades out. It's dead quiet. And then, I don't know if you know this, but the song begins very quietly. Wah, wah, what's new, pussycat? And he goes, God damn it! And pounds on the table. And silverware flies everywhere. And it was fantastic. But a word about my best friend John and what a genius he was. Because when we first walked into the diner, okay? When we first got there, and I'm punching in the What's New Pussycats, all right? I've punched in like 7 at this point. And then John says to me, hey. Before you punch in another What's New Pussycat, let's drop in 1. It's not unusual. Oh, yes. That is when the afternoon went from good to great. After 7 What's New Pussycats in a row, it played 7 times. Suddenly, dum, da-dum, not unusual, and the sigh of relief that swept through the diner. People were so happy. It was like the liberation of France. You know, for years, scientists have wondered, can you make grown men and women weep tears of joy by playing Tom Jones's It's Not Unusual? And the answer is yes, you can, provided that it is preceded by 7 What's New Pussycats. It's true. Dead honest. And on the other hand, when we went back, holy It's Not Unusual fades out. It's dead quiet. What's New Pussycat? People went insane. People went out of their minds. No one could handle it. No one could handle it. And they were surrounded by this seemingly indifferent staff that was just like, yeah, same crap as always. They unplugged the jukebox after 11 plays, and that was the best meal I've ever had. The best.
Hello, everyone. Don Gordon, along with Steve Emery, welcoming you back to the 2009 M Games.
This is a real test of a race, the men's passive-aggressive 800-meter, where athletes have to race to the finish while pretending they don't care about winning.
To participate in an actual race and still act like you're not there to win requires an almost inhuman level of passive aggression.
And these are some of the most passive-aggressive bastards on earth.
And there's last year's champion, John Benjamin. He's called Not a Big Deal Ben because he always says it's not a big deal if you don't pay him back. But when he gets home, he beats his dog angrily.
In the number 2 position is John Mulaney. They call him the Cincinnati quiet-ass. What's this? Looks like Mulaney's pretending to get a funny text. He also does this at parties, so people won't know how lonely he is.
You can basically say whatever you want on television. It's ridiculous. You can say anything you want. And if you don't believe me, you should watch a little program called Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Yeah, a show that I love, because on that show, you can say the grossest things you've ever heard in your life. No, you can't say, like, the F word. You can't say that on Special Victims Unit. But people walk around on SVU going like, looks like the victim had anal contusions. Yo, looks like we found semen and fecal matter in the victim's ear canal. Those are 2 real things that I heard on Law and Order SVU at 3 in the afternoon. Both spoken by Ice-T. Ice-T is a detective with the Special Victims Unit. He handles New York's most sensitive cases. I love Ice-T on SVU. He is fantastic. He's awesome. What's so great about him is that he's been with the SVU for like 11 years now. But he still treats every case like it's his first in terms of total confusion. Sometimes they'll be in the middle of an investigation and Ice-T will be like, yo, you telling me this dude gets off on little girls with pigtails? It's like, yeah, Ice. He's a pedophile. You work in the sex crimes division. You're gonna have to get used to that. You know how they try and tie in like current events to every episode of SVU? So there was this episode I saw a while ago that was about sex addiction, because a lot of celebrities had come out as sex addicts. So the episode's about sex addiction. There is a scene in the episode where the other detectives are trying to teach Ice-T what sex addiction is. and it takes a couple of minutes. And finally, Ice-T gets it, and they cut to him in this close-up, and he goes, "Oh, I get it. You mean like when someone drinks too much, or snorts cocaine, or bets the house on the ponies?" And I was like, "Yeah, you got it, man." And I was psyched that Ice-T understood, so that they could continue with the investigation. But I could have watched another 4 hours of Ice-T just naming examples. Just that close-up. And Ice-T like when someone smokes too many cigarettes, or like when someone shops too much with credit cards, or like when someone plays too many scratchy lotteries, or like when someone eats too much chocolate cake, or like when someone eats too much chocolate cake and then barfs it up. And he would just keep talking, and it would slowly fade out and say executive producer Dick Wolf. That'd be my ideal episode. That'd be a good one. I also watched this show called Cold Case Files. On Cold Case Files, they solve old murders. And it's really interesting, because what I learned from it is that it was really easy to get away with murder before they knew about DNA. It was ridiculously easy. Like, what was even going on back then? What was a murder investigation like in 1935? One cop would just walk in and be like, "Detective, we found a pool of the killer's blood in that hallway." And he would just be like, gross. Mop it up. Now then, back to my hunch. Look for clues. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll draw chalk around where the body is. That way we'll know where it was. Also, a couple years ago, I saw this movie called Public Enemies with Johnny Depp. It was about old bank robbers and stuff. Here's how easy it was to get away with bank robbery back in the 30s. As long as you weren't still there when the police arrived, you had a 99% chance of getting away with it. To the point that, like, those old bank robbers, they take credit for the bank robberies. Like, they come running out of there and they're like, "Ha ha ha! And if anyone asks you, tell them it was Golden Joe and the Suggins gang." And then they, like, shoot Suggins into the side of the wall. It's like, what, were bullets free back then? And they don't even disguise themselves. They dress up for the bank robbery. They're rolling in there in, like, big suits and hats like they're going to church in Atlanta. They make a day of it. Before I had a girlfriend, I never had someone who's always standing next to me who can just point out obvious things that are happening. Like, we'll be in a restaurant and my girlfriend will be like, "You ordered your food an hour ago. It should be here by now." And I'm like, "Yeah, it should." It's like having a lawyer for everyday life. She'll be like, "The bus driver shouldn't talk to you that way." And I'm like, "No, he shouldn't." Before I had a girlfriend, I had no standard for how I should be treated as a human being. You could do anything to me. I was just like a young Motown singer. I was just shiny and dumb and easy to trick. I was like, "Oh man, you gonna give me a whole $100 for all of my songs? Where do I sign, Mr. Berry Gordy?" And now when I'm not with my girlfriend, you can still do anything to me. I will tolerate any treatment. Like, I travel alone sometimes, you know, and I'll put up with anything. You know? Like, I'll book a ticket on some garbage airline. You know, I don't want to name an actual airline, so let's just make one up. Let's call it, like, Delta Airlines. So I'll book a ticket on Delta Airlines. And I'll show up at the airport, and I go, "Can I get on the plane now, please?" And they go, "No, it's delayed 9 hours." And I go, "Okay." And then I go to the bathroom. And then I come out of the bathroom and I go, "Any updates?" And they go, "Yeah, we took off while you were in the bathroom because we hate you. Now take this meal voucher that doesn't work. Go fetch." And I go, "Okay." And I go over to the Wolfgang Puck Express and I go, "Can I have a sandwich, please?" And they go, "No." And I go, "Okay." And they go, "You're a little fat girl, aren't you?" And I go, "No." And they go, "Say it." And I go, "I'm a little fat girl." And then I go over to the Delta Help Desk, which is an oxymoron, and I go, "Can I please go home on an airplane?" And they go, "No. In fact, we're gonna frame you for murder. And you're gonna go to jail for 30 years. And I go, "Why are you doing this to me?" And they go, "Because we're Delta Airlines, and life is a fucking nightmare." But with my girlfriend, she would just be like, let's see if Southwest has any flights. So it's better.
So, Jude, should we stretch first?
Nah, let's just, stay tight and get injured.
Check it out. Blue Alcinde. Okay. All right.
What's going on?
That's just something, just tweaked a little something real bad.
I like to rotate until the pain spreads and it's more of a numb everywhere kind of thing.
There it is. You know, it's nice to see how sort of loopy and weird your arms are.
I've got real noodle arms these days.
I was like, yo, boo.
Yeah.
Get it up.
You guys are really black.
Friggin' Commodores. That's my ball. All right. It's a little flat.
Ball out of here, yo. Let's choose it up. We got 2, 4, we got 6.
Also, if you guys just wanted to hang out.
What's you talking about, yo?
I don't know.
Let's choose teams up, baby.
All right.
Let's pick teams.
I got my man right here.
Mike be balling. Mike. Let me see who I want. JJ. Whoop-de-woo. Ooh, you know how I do it, JJ.
We come as a pair.
I'll get this Bob Barker, Ron Paul looking dude right here.
Damn, you be right on the button with these fools, man. But sister, give me Judy Dench up in here. You know Judy Dench?
You know what? Dame Judy Dench, ready to shit some hoops.
Hey, Gil.
Ball up, ball up.
I'll scratch you up.
All right.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
Get up here, yo. Come on, man.
First off, OJ did it. All right.
You know, my analyst says that if I don't get out and play more, that I'm never going to get back in a game properly.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You terrible.
Now, my boy, Gil, that guy's no good. I could really lay him out quickly. With him out of the way, I think we're just gonna be 360 spins and slam dunk pointers.
Dude.
Take your hands off me, St. Geekman. I'm not one of your students.
Oh, I put a lot more than my hands inside my students.
Oh, get off of me!
Oh, snap!
You popped my shoulder.
And Ron Paul just broke Phil Spector's shoulder, yo.
My friend is a pipped shoulder. Please, give me a burnt bagel for me.
Giggling, I'm gonna take a quarter-page ad out in the Village Voice to let everyone know that you're a legend, not a best friend.
And I'll take a half-page ad out that says free nude massage.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nussbaum, and you are Mr. Faison?
No, Mr. Faison is my ex-wife's husband's name. You can call me Gil.
Or don't call him at all. Call me, George St. Geeglin.
Get bent, St. Geeglin.
Get stuffed, Paisan.
Okay, so you are wearing a tote bag as a sling, so something's wrong with your shoulder?
Yeah, also, I'm having some other medical issues that I'm in here to talk about to get for free.
He pees 10 times a night, and he has to keep getting up, and it's why I'm so tired. I mean, why he's so tired. I'm using him for medical advice.
I'm sorry, who are you?
If you have an orthodontist in here, I've been using a couple chiclets' teeth in the back.
Also, I have caffeine penis. When I drink too many cappuccinis, my penis becomes useless.
I can't really address that right now. I have a 16-year-old pregnant girl in the other room that I really need to get to.
And I have bagel-induced cholesterol.
Right. So, you're having some pain in your shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay, can I,
Okay.
Yeah, I barely touched you.
boy.
Okay, so it's very tender, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a very strong ammonia smell over here.
Oh, that's because I let my cat piss on me for health.
He has a little tabby named Judd Hirsch.
So, how did you hurt your shoulder?
No.
It seems you may have dislocated it.
And this guy decked me because the blacks liked me more.
Yeah, we were playing basketball with these awful black guys, and he displeased me, so I took him out.
Yeah.
I'm actually legally bound to report any instances of domestic violence between partners.
What?
You think we're homosexual partners?
You think we're homosexuals?
No.
What would give you that?
I mean, look, I guess we are best friends,
Sure, who is it?
I guess we do live together.
Oh, it's easier when you share a hot pot.
Yeah. And I guess we do sleep in a Murphy bed together. But we're not sexual. Though I guess a lot of couples our age are not sexual. So I guess in a way, we are sort of a gay domestic partnership, and I am abusive. Huh. Never thought about that.
Never thought about it that way either.
I'm either going to treat this shoulder, or I need you guys to go.
Jerk him off.
John, how's it going talking like yourself? It's going okay. I'm having trouble shaking. Oh, hello, boys.
Yeah, it's much more comfortable in there, isn't it?
I feel much more comfortable talking like that.
Where are you from, John?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
What's your racial background?
My racial background is Irish Catholic.
So why is it that you act like a Jew from the 70s? Why do you seem most comfortable?
This is my most comfortable mode.
Oh, it's your turn for go.
23.
Yeah, way too young.
Well, I would so much rather listen to this. Please welcome to the stage, John Mulaney!
I'm sorry, I was indisposed. I'm sorry, I was indisposed. Hi. I almost jinxed it out there because I have a mic on and I had to pee. And that's what peeing with a lavalier on is now called jinxing it. And I went into the bathroom and I was like, this is so ridiculous. You behave differently now in light of the jinx. I mean, you always dressed it up a little when you had a microphone on in the bathroom, but now you really have to be worried. So the only thing I did differently, because I peed regular and stuff, and I didn't talk to myself at all, but I washed my hands like loudly and traditionally with lather and everything, being like, the sound guy must think I'm the best. Real quick before I get into anything, now that I'm thinking about it, The Jinx is my favorite show ever that I hope doesn't win an Emmy. Because, no, for real, because who's gonna win the Emmy? That Andrew Jarecki and the HBO people? I don't have this much venom for them, but all those people are gonna get up there and get an Emmy. And who should get an Emmy? Our little friend, our dear friend Bobby the Jinx, should win every Emmy that's ever been invented. He has been this guy is so good at being on TV. Did you see the Jinx? Did you see it? Young girl, did you see the Jinx? This guy killed 3 people, and yet you'll watch it, young lady, and you'll go, I like this guy. Why do I like this guy? How old are you?
I'm 13.
You're 13? Perfect age. You'll be sitting there, and you go, look at me, I'm 13, and I love this guy. And I asked, what's your name?
Lucy.
Lucy? That's great. So I asked my wife, I was like, why do people keep marrying the Jinx? And she went, oh, I get it. She goes, he's so confident. And Lucy, he is. Confidence is the biggest currency we have, you know? None of this is prepared material, Lucy. Because think about it, Lucy. No one in the O.J. Simpson trial won an Emmy. From 94 to 95, you didn't need to watch any TV shows. There was a thing called the O.J. Simpson trial. And it was the best thing that ever happened on TV ever. It was a murder trial. It sounds terrible, right? It was so goddamn entertaining. These people delivered. Everyone in that trial delivered. They went up and they went, what's your name? I'm Kato Kalin. All right, here's the ball on the tee. And then he would knock it out of the park. And there was a guy named Johnny Cochran. And this guy does not have an Emmy. He's dead. He died without an Emmy. And this was the most entertaining man. You'd love him, Lucy. This guy would put on a knit cap and goof around with the murder evidence. Either one of 2 things happened, and we truly don't know. Either O.J. Simpson murdered his wife and then, took off a glove and was like, threw it over his shoulder, was like, done with that glove. Either he threw away his glove or a cop planted the glove. Both very entertaining. So O.J. had to try on the gloves in front of the jury, Lucy. I know you all know this, I'm telling Lucy. And he gets up and he's like, oh, these are my gloves? And he tries to put them on and he goes, he actually bit his tongue. Go watch it. It's on YouTube, I watched it recently. See, going on. And then he goes, like. There needs to be a special Emmy called the Cato. There needs to be for entertainment outside the field of the performing arts. You know what? I was thinking about none of the Beatles had mustaches for years. And then one day, they all had mustaches. So like 1964, 1965, they're the Beatles, right? 66, it goes from black and white to color, and they're like, okay, give us a minute. We're gonna go think of something to do. They disappear, and then they all come back with mustaches. Imagine if the cast of Friends had taken a year off. At the height. They'd taken a year off, and they went, we'll be back. And I was like, oh, what do they have in store? And then they all came back with mustaches.